My name is Leonard Tijing. I'm from the University of Technology, Sydney. I'm here to present our preliminary results with our work on part trials of urine-based fertilizer using our Urval fertilizer from UTS. This is in collaboration with our partner, the City of Sydney. With us here is Neil Palagadaria, our partner investigator from the City of Sydney. So this is the team from the City of Sydney with Ishita, William, and Luke, and also from UTS, myself, Professor Sean, Dr. Ibrahim, and our PhD student who's helping us with this work. So basically, the main objective of this project was to investigate the viability and compare the performance of our urine-based fertilizer, which is the Urval, which is I think is in the batch 2 or the generation 2 of the Urval fertilizer, and compare it with the usual commercial fertilizer that has been used in the city of Sydney or parklands. And we're looking at a test site in Victoria Park. So if it's about 5 minutes walk from here, if you go to Broadway Shopping Center, there's a park there, and that's our park trial site. And if you look at this over here, so these are two sites that we have for our trial site location. So these two are identical sites nearby the parking area. So we chose these two sites because of its exposure to sunlight. It's at least very more or less flat land. We have some locations that was presented to us by the city, but we have chosen these two areas. And we have conducted experiments for both in identical situations. And I'm going to give you some of the experimental parameters that we have conducted. So basically, from most of the urban parklands, the grass type is Kikuyu grass. This is a usual case of grass that has a good growth, especially in summertime and throughout the year, basically. But at winter time, this kind of grass kind of a bit stagnant. It's not a slow growth during winter time. We have, in terms of our test, we did some visual inspection. We did some grass yield of the grasses, and of course we have recorded some of the winter data. So in terms of the actual park trial test, we have a bit of limited access. I mean, not the access, but the way of we can do the experiments because it's in a public space. And so we just considered some of the initial aspects for the conduct of experiments. So we have conducted our experiments with 4 treatments here. So basically, we have our control without any fertilizer. So we have also the T1, which is the one we using our commercial fertilizer. The one is a match-placed first of MP origin. This is a solid type of fertilizer that has been used by the City of Sydney in their parks. And then the treatment 2 is an Urval fertilizer, and we have diluted this one, and I will show you later on. And we have also tested a little bit of a different type of soil food coming from the City of Sydney as well, just to have a bit of comparison and the combination of the Urval plus the soil food. So we conducted our, in each plot, we have 4 replicates. So as you can see, we have these 20 blocks of 1 square meter of plots, and there are 4 replicates for each treatment case. And yeah, we can show you here how it looks like. So we put a bit of a pigtail fence on the location of the site, and we put some sort of bordered pegs to border the different types of the area of our test for each block, and then we took some photos on a weekly basis as well as getting the yields on a regular basis as well. So basically, the composition of the solid form of the commercial fertilizer is this. This is a 2818 commercial fertilizer. It's a solid form. And this is the liquid form of our Urval fertilizer. So there's a difference in terms of concentration, but we have calculated the amount. 5 minutes, okay, that's quick, yeah. All right. So this is the kind of fertilizer that we have inputted there, and we have also the Urval fertilizer. We put some 25 mils of fertilizer together with 9 liters of water, and also the other soil food is also shown here, and then we watered at the start of our trials. The main thing about this one is that the commercial fertilizer is a solid form, so We applied the commercial fertilizer at one time at the start of the experiment. However, on the liquid type, we had to stagger it because we cannot put everything at one time because it's still going to be a lot of wastage. So we have to do it in a regular basis in different weeks to just input the right amount of fertilizer, and we have recorded as well the rains as well as the winter conditions for this. We took photos on a weekly basis just to show the comparison about what's going on in terms of growth. It's not easily identified here, but we do it a visual inspection. This is for the start of the experiment, and this is the commercial fertilizer. So basically, everything started in a similar state. And then after week 3, we see, of course, at the start, we had to remove all the grasses manually. We didn't use any weed killer at this point in stage. We have to manually remove some of the grasses. And then we found some weeds growing as well for all the blocks in week 3. We could see that the commercial fertilizers has a more green color compared to the other ones, perhaps because this is the more concentrated one when we applied it at the start of the experiment. And then, after weeks 6 and 8, we could see some differences there. But the thing is, the yield is not as we expected in terms of the growth. It's quite slow because of the winter season, but we still have some yield produced during that time. And we're still continuing at this point in time, so I will go expect a number of different data points later on in these weeks. Initially, this is our result for now. We expected this one, definitely, because this is the control and this is the commercial fertilizer, and these are the Urval and the other treated approaches that we have. This is just one data point, but our expectation for this is that commercial fertilizer will have a better yield at this point in time because we applied the whole of the amount at the start of the experiment. And so the main basis for us is not about the weekly yield, but more of the cumulative yield until the end of the test. So we can see the whole yield once we have finished all the amount of urine fertilizer that we will have to apply throughout the many weeks later on. So this is just an expectation, and we're still analyzing some of our recent results on the yield as well. And we're going to analyze some other important tests later on for soil analysis as well as we go along. But so far, this trial, of course, as you know, in a park trial is a little bit less controlled in terms of experimental conditions because it's open to the public, but we try to control it as much as we can. It showed that the T1 or the treatment 1 with commercial fertilizer had better result. We expected that, and after a few weeks, we had to put on the cumulative results for the yield as well for the Urval fertilizer. One of the main issue here is the difference in types of the fertilizer. We have a solid versus a liquid type, so probably in the near future we have to consider that to have a similar form of fertilizer to compare with. But as a start, we just did what the city of Sydney is currently doing in their parklands, which is using this commercial fertilizer, and in comparison with our own liquid Urval fertilizer. It's a little bit challenge to get a good yield because of the winter season, but we have to repeat this one in the summer season as well. For this test, the weeds are not controlled for this test, so every time we do the mowing, we have to remove the weeds manually. It's not easy to remove the weeds manually, but it took some hours to do that, but at least we have more or less gotten a good yield result for this. And these are the types of weeds that we have observed in the test. So in the future work, of course, we're currently continuing our current port trials in Victoria Park, and we'll be testing a similar type of fertilizer probably to have a better comparison. And we are considering of doing some plot tests as well to different types of grass so that we can have a more controlled condition and see how we go with there. And of course, we'll continue with our summer park type trials and compare this one with our winter one. So far, that's our initial preliminary results for this time. We thank the City of Sydney through Neil Plegadera here for the support, and of course from the ARC Nice Hub and the UTS team. Thank you very much.